Amen. Have a seat there. All right. You sing so well. I wanted to say that last week. We sound like a chorus of 1,000. And it's what you do when you work together. It made a whole lot of difference. If I was a blind man, I couldn't tell how many people were here, but it would sound like many. And God, you're giving God the glory. Plus, you're edifying us with your singing. So we want to give God the glory this morning for allowing us to be here. I got a stark reminder there for you on the board there, on the screen there. Do not regret going no. Thank you, preacher. It's a privilege that's denied to many. See, Brother D, this was on my mind because you did the eulogy for my dad's funeral. And if my dad would just pulled out several more months, he would have been 94 years old. Oh, boy. He set the bar high for his children. And all of us will be in our 60s. My youngest brother is 59, and all of us will be in our 60s next year. But he set the bar high. I still have to live another 30 years to be 94 years old. But the way the world look now, I ain't going to say if I'm going to make it or not, because my life is in the hands of God. I don't care if the world is chaotic. If the Lord wants to let me live to be 94, then he'll let me live to be 95. You know, and but growing old is not a problem for me. It's a privilege that is denied to many. And I used to know, it bothered me early on when I went to college and I'd come in Alabama, I'd come back home for, when we had breaks. And I would see my mom and dad actually age. Hold on, preacher said I need to turn the mic on. This mic is not for you guys, it's for the website, but you can hear me fine. But anyway, and I see my parents age every time I come back. See, if you're with them every day, you can't see the aging process. But when I come back and I see my poor parents are aging, as should be. And then I remember telling one of my siblings, I said, I was alive when my grandparents were alive on both sides, and they're gone. And I said, now, my parents, when they're gone, it's going to be our turn. There's 5 siblings. Now, guess what? It's our turn. Because as the world turns, generations pass. And they keep passing. And I couldn't understand at first why my mother got old and she had to go away. And I had never experienced a loved one so immediate, so close. And I see people in church and their loved ones are gone on. How can they laugh again? How can they smile again? Losing a loved one. My mom's been gone for 10 years. And y'all know I've laughed like a hyena. Because I'm a minister and I understand that such things must happen. And that getting old is not a problem for me. My dad, he got old, and guess what? He went on just like Solomon said he would. He got to go on just like God said we would. He went on. His time is over. But guess what? As I draw closer, because I ain't still counting old age right now, I'm just beginning. I'm 63. I ain't claiming it right now. Not to some of y'all who are in your 20s and your 30s, I'm an old man. Yeah, it's all relative. You be quiet out there now. It's all relative, but see, it don't bother me. It doesn't bother me because I look at it from the cup being half full. You see, maybe I'm getting ready for my rest. I look at it like that. Lord knows I need some rest from this world. And then I look at when I'm awakened for my rest, I'm going to go see Jesus and he's going to take me to heaven. So it's not that I'm losing things. I'm about to benefit. I'm about to gain some things. So that's the way I look at it. So don't cry for me because I look old and all that. I'm still beautiful. I tell like Muhammad Ali say, I'm still beautiful. Bobby the lion, I'm gonna be lying. Let's go on. Don't regret it. Listen, there is no shame in growing old. Don't let anybody tell you that. You know, get your old self. Go on and sit down. Young children may say that. They don't understand they're on the same trajectory as you are. They're going to get there one day. My 7-year-old grandchild right here, she going to get there one day. I said, we're going to talk about your grandma this morning. I say, your grandmama, your old grandmother. She said, she ain't that old. She ain't that old. She said, you old, but you ain't that old. You ain't old. But see, one day she gonna get there if she lived long enough. Look at these two characters. Yeah, they must have swayed and waltzed and jumped and flipped and done all that, but they need the aid of a cane. You see what I say? Well, I don't ever want to be like that. You better hope you get like this. They old, but they still living, they still walking. That's called blessings. And that ain't no blessing in disguise. That's a blessing. Old people got old people in the church doing all kind of things in the church. And working. Don't count yourself as dead, and don't let the world count you as being dead. There's no shame in growing old. Growing old is not a curse. If you ask me, dying early is a curse to me. But it's not a curse. It is a privilege that too many people never live to see. You say, is that right, preacher? Oh, great people such as Franklin D. Roosevelt. I put him up there first because, see, he's still young. I'm 63. He was 63. See, that's young. He had 4 terms as the president of the United States. Look at all the work that he's done behind him. But at 63, God said, no more. You got to go. He wasn't privileged. If he was going to get a check, his Social Security check at 65, he didn't make it. No matter how great he was, God says some young people just ain't going to make old age. And then we're going to be picking at old folk. You might not get there. Abraham Lincoln, now when you look at his picture and you look close up, he look old, he look rough. You know what? They say that when you're president and they do the before and after, you look at Barack, he and I the same age. But he had gray hair. He didn't lose his hair, but his hair went gray. Because that's what stress will do to you. Well, see, Abraham Lincoln had to go through slavery and he had to go through the Civil War. It put some damage on his face. The man was only 56 years old. 56. And then you got Babe Ruth. What is 714 home runs? Just knocking them out the park. Nobody could catch it until the late, 70s when Hank Aaron had to catch him all those years. But you got to go. We'll still eat your Baby Ruth candy bar, but you got to go. And then there's Michael Jackson, a little boy genius who did so much in his life. God says, you are no respecter of person. You got to go too. I guarantee you, ain't no singer who's going on tour, who's planning a tour right now, gonna call that tour, this is it. Because guess what? That was it. We just should have said, this is it and some more after this. But that was it. I don't care how great he was. You'd search him on if you put into the web, who's the greatest person on earth by the time he was living, it was a bet between Barack Obama and Michael Jackson as the greatest person on earth now. And sometimes he would outbeat, and I'm going to say it, Jesus Christ. But God said, I don't care. You got to go. And he left. John F. Kennedy, the youngest person elected as president. Now, he wasn't the youngest person as president. You got to remember, he's the youngest person elected at 43 years old. Teddy Roosevelt was the youngest person ever to become because he succeeded the presidency when William Kinley was assassinated. So he, at 42, became the youngest. But John F. Kennedy was the youngest elected president. Got his head blown off at 46. That's a young man. 46 years old. I'm way past that. Some of y'all ain't got there yet. 46 is young. That's a whole lot of living if the Lord lets you live. At 46, there's a whole lot of living above you. Then his brother here, Marvin Gaye. One of the things, I was sleeping one night and I had the TV in my room, and I woke up and I heard the news flash that Marvin Gaye was shot dead by his daddy. Man that brought him in the world took him out at age 44. That smooth velvet croner, no matter how many hits that he made, he had to go. He never lived to be an old man. Never lived to be an old man. Billie Holiday, strange fruit, drank herself to death, was tied to the bed, handcuffed to a hospital bed when she died. But she had to go. Wonderful singer. Love her songs. Robert F. Kennedy, the younger brother of John F. Kennedy, in June of '68, lost his life at 42 years of age. Far too young to be leaving this earth. Martin Luther King, April 4th, 1968, 39 years old. We got children in their 30s. This man was just a young man to me, a boy. 39 years old. I was looking at all the things that life had to offer me at 39 years old. But this man, gone too soon. Malcolm X, also 39, 1965. Audubon Ballroom, delivering a speech in a hail of gunshot. Bullets struck him down as a young man, age 39. Jimi Hendrix, guitar god they call him, the best that ever lived, in my opinion. 27. From that class of 27, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, and others, gone at 27. That's a baby. That's a baby. William gonna be 27 next month. Just imagine, just gone, life snuffed out. And it's too soon. And then to think about this one, Jesus Christ. The most important person to ever walk on the face of the earth never lived to see the old age that he would have had if he lived. Now we know he's up in heaven as the Son of God, but we're talking about on the earth as Jesus Christ. He's gone. This man had to be so serious, nowhere in the Bible you'd see him joking about anything. He says, I can't be joking. I can't be playing around. I got to work because my work depends upon the salvation of the world. And at 33, a mother wept for her young son like any mother would at age 33. And he's gone. The Bible often mentions the longevity of life of some of its more faithful people. There was a sense of pride, if you just go back and read it, in mentioning how healthy Moses was at the age of his death. Moses was 120 years old when he died. And the Bible says, Brother Copeland, yet his eyes were not weak or his strength abated. His strength was not gone. Don't slap him in the face and think you ain't gonna tussle. I'm 100 years old, but I'm gonna take care of you. 120. Oh, get me there. Get me there. And look, it says that yet his eyes were not weak. Some of us wearing glasses. I thought wearing glasses at age 40. And every year they get thicker and thicker. And some of young folk right now, young folk, got glasses as thick as a Coke bottle. And this man's strong. He said, I don't need no wheelchair. Get that wheelchair. I'm good. Now, I don't know if he can still go out there and play some basketball, but it said he had some strength. You know what that means? No, loose me. I can walk on my own. I can get up on my own. You see, being old is no curse. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Noah started having children when he was 500 years old. Brother was not playing. Come in, Miss Noah. But you sit your old self down. You're 500 years old. He didn't start having them boys, Sham, Ham, and Japheth until he was 500 years old. Lord have mercy. Yeah, long life should be seen as a badge of honor and a blessing. So you can call me old all day long. Them little children call me old, say that's okay. Call me old. You don't know how much you see in this blessing here. This is a blessing. I want my tombstone talking about he died young. There's a lot to see in the world, a lot to do in the world, a lot for me to help other people in the world. That's too soon. Adam was 930 years old. Yeah, the one that ate the fruit. He still lived to be 930 years old. His son, 912. His grandson, 905. Kenan, 910. Jared and Methuselah, 962 and 969 years old. Woo! If he could have just pushed 31 more years, he'd have been 1,000 years old. That's a badge of honor. It didn't say anything negative about these men living that long. We know there were other reasons why they had to live that long. They had to populate the world. That's a badge of honor. Forget it. Ain't nobody living that long now. You can get away by living to be 114, maybe 16, but most people on average are leaving by that time. They put you in the paper, so-and-so it made it to 114. You read it next week, they're gone. They're gone. Old people are not obsolete. See, there's some people, when they get old and they go in the hospital, they don't get the kind of treatment the doctor gives them because they're old. They don't want to waste all this money and time on them. And I told them when my mama was being taken care of, I said, look here, you do what you can do for my mama. She's not obsolete. She's not throwaway. You do what you can. If old people are obsolete, the United States, the leader of the free world, would not have as its leader right now an 81-year-old man. No matter how you think about that. He might can't remember stuff at times. You got to go up there and grab the mic from him because he might say something you don't supposed to say. He walk like he don't know where he's going. You got to go grab him. Jill, go get your husband. Supposed to be giving somebody a medal and stuff like that, and you give him the medal, and he just walk off the stage. You ain't through yet. Say what you want to say, but for 4 years now, you've been eating good, have you? Mm-hmm. Gas is high, but you still been buying gas. You still got a job, don't you? Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. We ain't even talking about retirement. You retired, didn't you? All right, then. No shackles from another nation are on your feet. That's Joe Biden. I ain't talking about just Joe Biden. I'm talking about an 81-year-old man. If he was throwaway, he wouldn't be your president. And now you got another old one that's trying to be president again. There ain't no young people vying for that. Where the young folk at? So it's not a curse. It's not a shame to be old. You're going to have another old president. Which way it comes out? Another old president. And be mindful that when God commissioned Moses to lead his children from Egyptian bondage, Moses was 80 years old. Ain't no 80-year-old people saying, well, I'm going to lead a nation. Nah, you better sit down somewhere. They ain't trying to do all of that. They want to rest now. And guess what? If you ever go back and read when God had called him up, he saw the burning bush and he commissioned him to free his people, you know that Moses came up with every excuse. But he didn't come up with the excuse, I'm too old. He didn't. He didn't. I don't want to hear that from y'all talking about you're too old to go out there and spread the gospel. No, you ain't too old. See, you're never going to be too old to do anything. You might be too sick, but you're never too old. You want to fly a jet plane? Learn to fly a jet plane. I mean, the G-force might kill you, but fly a plane. You want to be a surgeon? Go to law school. Go to med school. You're 81 years old, go to med school, be a doctor. I just ain't gonna go to you. Yeah. Noah was 480 years old when he started building that massive ark to save him and his family. Because the rain came when he was 600 years old. You remember he had to go preach after God told him that mankind was going to be destroyed. I want you to build my ark. So 120 years passed by. It was 600 years old. But the man out there building a massive ark with 3 of his sons, hauling that wood, cutting down that wood, pitching that wood. Man's 480 years old working. I'm out there, the camera beams. I can hear it on my watch now if somebody come up to the church. And I have to look. Brother Copeland out there cutting trees and stuff like that. He ain't no young man. Bing again. I look in there again. Brother D out there blowing off leaves over the parking lot. See, them people can be home resting, doing what they want to do. And guess what? They ain't going home and laying down and putting on Bengay and all that. They might, I don't know. But if I know them, they're going to do something else. They're going to do something else. Some grown old people can't do anything. Abram, who later was Abraham, was 75 years old when he set out for Haran, for the land of Canaan, which was between 400 and 600 miles. Guess what? On foot. Walking. I can't wait sometime to my wife or my kid coming to my den, because I left the remote right over there. Yeah, I said, oh, thank you. There you go. Can you bring me that? I could have just walked over there. I keep looking at it and keep looking at it. You know, and I say, it ain't come. I want to do that Star Wars thing. Say, come on over here. Yeah, they come in, but you know what? She got me now. Now she home. And, you know, and if I got to get that remote, she said, every step counts. Every step counts. And I had to run upstairs to give her something. I said, oh, I forgot. I got to go. Every step counts. And she's right. Every step counts. Especially here. Every step counts. Yeah. So listen. So if it didn't bother God to call old men to work for him, why would anyone think that old people are obsolete? They're very useful. Useful. See, and then, listen. I hear tell this. Now, I don't know, brother. I hear tell that a lot of young men don't want to work. That's what I heard. See, in my age, because I can still say that, me, James, and Lee, we same age we were until I just moved ahead of them. They got to catch up. But in my day, I was just 19 in 1980, so I was still a teenager in 1980. We went to work. We were trying to find a job to go to if we didn't already have one. But the young men today don't want to work. But guess what they don't want to do? They want to stand around on the corner and beg for money from others who work for their money, and then to take it from old people who want to work. You can disagree with that. I'll take you downtown and show you. I'll take you downtown and show you young men who are able to work begging for money from old people. And we say the old people are obsolete. They're not obsolete. They're still useful. The Bible presents growing old. It's a normal, natural part of life. Not a curse. You're going to get there one day. Well, why are we talking about old people? I ain't old, because you're going to get there one day. You need to learn what's coming your way. Be mad if the tornado signal in Gainesville don't ring and stuff like that. And you be mad. Now, I ain't hearing that. I didn't run for. Well, it's a signal here. You're going to get old one day. Get ready if you live long enough. It's a natural progression. Yeah, crawling, just starting to walk, running around, working. Now you're getting ready to retire. Now, guess what? The grave near, if you want to say that. But you're going through those steps of life whether you like it or not. I ain't never going to get old. Live long enough. We'll turn that into a lot quick. I seen pictures of some of these brothers in church. I saw George there, and a picture About 20, 30 years ago, his hair was black. Silver now is gray. Don't laugh because it's gray. Bible got something for that too. You see, there's honor involved in the aging process because growing old is normally accompanied by increased wisdom and experience. You little young bucks don't know nothing against no old man. Now I know you women, you go in there to the hairdresser, I guess that's what they call them, beautician and all that. They put up your hair and make all your hair up. You spend all them hundreds of dollars and smooth out them little baby hairs that you know you ain't got, and them little baby hairs and stuff like that. Then you come in here looking all good, but guess what? George look good. You hear what that Bible? See what it say? Gray hair is a crown of splendor. He match you. He got you. That's a crown of splendor there. That's a crown of splendor there. If I had some, it'd be a crown of splendor. Yeah. It is attained in the way of righteousness. That's how you get it. That gray hair is a crown. And don't be, men going gray and all that. They want to go out there and get dyed, curly and all that. What you doing, fooling yourself? Go get that. You got to perpetually keep doing that. Miss a week or two. And they're going to say, oh, you're getting that salt and pepper now. No, it's really pepper, salt. Trying to fool yourself and all that. It don't matter. Grow your gray hair. Don't be ashamed to grow your gray hair. There's no shame in growing old. If you live long enough, you will be fortunate enough to witness, whether good or bad, the world literally change before your eyes and history being made. I've seen history being made in my eyes. I've seen it. I've seen the world change in my eyes. Most of you young people, you went around, I still was living through the Vietnam War. I was just 16 years old, and World War II was over for 16 years before I was born. Now, I didn't live through the Korean War, but I've seen things change in just my little 63 years. Yeah. But what kind of things you seen? Well, and I ain't never seen no watch that could call you up. Man can call you up. You call me right now, I say hello. You ain't never seen nothing like that. We didn't have computers. We didn't have cell phones. See, I saw the world change. You used to get on the airplane and nobody checked to see if you got a bomb. We went to Yellowstone and I bought a little knife to bring back and say Yellowstone. They wouldn't even let me carry it on the plane. I ain't going to kill nobody. You got on the plane back then, butcher knives and all that stuff. The world changed. And I saw it. Why? Because I lived long enough. You can see wonderful things about history being made. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Go back here. That wasn't me. I ain't had my finger on it, but we're going to go back. Yeah. No. We're going to do it my way. Slow it down. Take your time. That's what old people do, too. They take the time. Take the time. I've seen over 22,000 sunrises and sunsets. Over 22,000. I added it up, roughly. But see, I've seen the changes in my lifetime and the beauty of getting old. I've seen it. You've seen it. And some of you are 20 years older than me. You're 83, you're 20 years older than me. You've seen over 7,000 more than I have of sunrises and sunsets. But guess what? Look at you, still here. And I have seen, listen, you have seen some history in your eyes that I can only read about in the papers or in the books. You've seen things. Young people can't tell me nothing. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't been there. Don't mean that you void and you ignorant. You just ain't seen it. You didn't experience it. Martin Luther King was alive when you were here. He was alive when I was. Malcolm X was alive. John F. Kennedy was alive. Robert F. Kennedy was alive. But you can only go back and read about it. There's value in being old. Old wood is used to make homes. They don't make homes and no new wood. It's too soft. They want some old, matured wood. So stop saying that old people ain't no good. They'll ball you up if you get right. Now I here tell you that old wine is best wine. And the more aged the wine is, the more expensive that wine is. That's what they say. New pottery may hold your Folgers, but old pottery that is extracted from the sands of time, they sit in museums. Old stuff has value. Antiques can make you a fortune. A car is not antique until you get to be 20 years old. And then you get that little blue sign say antique. Well, some of y'all over 20 years old, you are antique. Antiques. It takes 1 to 3 billion years to make a diamond that you buy for your wife. That she might say, Brenda, gee, hey, that little fella. It took 1 to 3 billion years to make that. Give it some credit. She want a bigger one? Tell her, okay, let's wait till another 3 billion years. Old jeans become favorite. Don't try to throw out nobody old jeans. Well, they wear good now. They might have holes in them, but them the best jeans in the closet. I had some old slippers, bedroom slippers. I didn't want to throw them away. They had holes in them and all that, but they just fit good. Yeah, they fit good. Be walking all over the place with them. Guess what? Old leather wears better. You break in that leather, boy, it fit just right. Them shoes when you buy, and some of y'all got bunions and all that, but if you get them leather shoes and you break them in, they fit just right. Yeah, that's what I know. Older people have more patience. They got patience. They should have. You got patience, see, because you learn how to live. You got patience. It ain't always about having everything yesterday. You got patience. Older people have no tolerance for foolishness. See, young people get into all kind of foolishness. Old people ain't got time for that. Because I know me, I'm 63. I'm going to be old a little bit later. But see, I ain't got no time for this foolishness that's out here. And for foolish people, I ain't got time for it. I'm trying to live my golden years when I get there. Older people embrace simplicity. I like it nice, simple. I don't like confusion. I can still deal with complex problems, but I shouldn't have to. I done worked for 40 years. I'm through. I ain't worked a regular job since 2020. I ain't got no time for that. Simple. Sit me on the porch, let me look at the wind blow, the trees blowing the wind, the squirrels moving around hunting for food, the birds flying, the blue sky. Give me that. No, I want to make it all difficult. Older people are wiser. I should have said should be wiser, but older people are wiser. You know what? We had to, in our last brothers meeting, we brought up this issue, and then we all voted on it. And I said, all in favor signify by saying aye. And then everybody said aye. And I said, all who deny signify by saying nay. And one person said nay. One person said nay. And then it's my job to say, well, what's your reason for saying nay? Because it's a democratic process. And when that person said what he said, and that was Brother D, because this is, I'm showing you the wisdom. And when he told us why he said nay, you know, and the whole room said yay, he said nay, then guess what? I don't know about the rest of them, but to me, it made sense to me. And my ship went right on over there. Because that was the wisdom of a wise man. And that's what I say to you young people. I say, be independent in your thoughts. Not because somebody influenced you. Independent in your, he was independent from all of our thoughts because he had the wisdom where we rushed ahead. Because that's wisdom. I learned something. Yeah. See, they're supposed to be wiser. And that's where I wanted to be for older people. I'm still young too. I want to hear wisdom from older people because it's still valuable to me these days. Older people see God's handiworks in nature around them. The younger people just see how they can tear it down and build more buildings. Yeah. And older people can see the mistakes waiting for younger people. So don't dispel it. Don't dispel advice from older people. Younger people, you need to listen. Because they've been there, done that. To be able to tell you, don't do that. Now you don't know nothing. Well, just because you've been up there at the school don't mean that you know everything. Old people can tell you, keep you out of a lot of mess. When they say, don't marry that girl, they ain't saying it because they jealous. They old. They don't want your little old whatever, pea shooter, whatever you got. They try to help you. It ain't benefit them. They trying to keep you out of trouble. And then guess what? You marry her. Mama what? She knew it. She ain't come on. She always out there. Well, I told you not to marry her. She won't cook and all that. Well, I told you that not to marry her. He won't mow the lawn. Well, didn't your daddy try to teach you how to mow one? But I depend on him. Didn't your mama say don't depend on no man that ain't your husband? Or your husband? Better listen to these old people today. And older people can see the brevity of life. You can see the ending of your life because you know what? If you can see that, you don't deal with a lot of foolishness. I ain't got time for that. My golden year is supposed to be where I'm settled. Leave me alone. There's value in older people teaching younger people the generation of how to navigate life. I needed somebody to help me navigate life. I don't have to always learn things the hard way. Tell me how to do it. Yeah, tell me how to do it. Every weekday when I was a kid, when I was young, somebody told me how to get to Sesame Street. You see? Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? Well, when I'm older now, I need you to tell me how to get to everywhere else I need to go. Or to teach me how to find out how to get there myself. Stand up in the presence of age. Now, this for y'all, since I'm old today, I'm 63. Now, this is what y'all young folks need to do. Stand up in the presence of the age. Show respect for the elderly and revere your God. He says, why? Because I'm the Lord. I'm telling you that. So y'all little young ones, y'all stand up. Respect me. Leviticus 19:32. Since I'm 63 now. Teach the older men, listen, to be temperate, worthy of respect, self-control, and sound in faith, and in love and endurance. See, if old men learn to be those things, they can teach the young men how to be those things too. And it says, why teach the old men? They're supposed to learn, because some old men haven't learned that yet. You see, it's still running the streets. So if you can teach an old man to be temperate, means to be patient. And to be worthy of respect. See, just because you old, sometimes you're not worthy of my respect, especially if you're an old fool. He says, teach them to be worthy. Just because you're old don't mean it's automatic. Self-control. You can't just be going and rolling up your sleeves wanting to fight every young man. They'll turn you out. You ain't young no more. Be self-controlled. Say, listen, go on, you better go on. And if that don't work, you better be gone. Try to fight these young men today. They eat stuff you didn't eat. Sound in faith and love and endurance. The best way to teach a generation coming after us is by showing more so than by what is being said, because talk sometimes is cheap. Show me. Let me see it in you. If only Rehoboam A young man that listened to the elders, old men, who had served his father Solomon, the kingdom of Israel and Judah would not have split if he just listened to the older men. Yeah, he said it. However, Rehoboam did not take to their advice. He didn't heed their advice. But guess what he did, James? He wanted to hear what the young men had to say. And he didn't want to hear what them grown ones, the young men who grew up with him, I want to hear what they got to say. It was a big mistake. Say, well, yeah, let me show you. Since you asked me. 1 Kings 12:4. The older men came to him, his daddy had gone, and they said, look, your father put a heavy yoke on us, but now lighten the harsh labor and the heavy yoke he put on us. And guess what? We'll serve you. You're the new king now. We will serve you if you just lighten this load. See, Solomon had a beautiful kingdom, but somebody had to build it. And then sometimes he had forced labor. And they said, take this yoke from us and lighten our load. I will serve you. Me as the king, new king, I'm going to say, okay, no problem. You serve me, good. Verse number 12. Then King Rehoboam consulted the elders who had served his father Solomon during his lifetime. How would you advise me to answer these people, he asked. Now you asked me, I'm going to tell you. Okay, and that's what he did. And then they replied in verse 7. Now, if today, listen, now I love this phrase because sometimes as leaders, we get it backwards. He says, if today you will be a servant to the people, not have the people to serve you, but if you're a servant to the people and serve them and give them a favorable answer, guess what? They'll always be your servants. You see what he said? Did you miss all that? He said, if you serve them, they will always be your servants. But see, some young people think they know it all. And guess what? But Rehoboam rejected the advice of the elders. He rejected them, and he went and he consulted the young folk. The young men had grown up with him, and that was serving him. The Bible said he was supposed to serve them. He rejected that. He followed the advice of young men and said, my father made your yoke heavy, and I'm going to make it even heavier. My father scourged you with whips. I'm going to scourge you with scorpions. Now, he didn't have to say all that. He didn't have to do all of that. You be a servant to us, and you serve us, and we'll be your servant. We're going to work this thing together. I serve you. You serve me. I'm not your God. I'm not even your boss. We work together. It's just that I got a different job from most. That's what we do. We work together for the good of the whole. Let's end this. The golden years should be peaceful years. This is what I observe in Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 18 and 20. It says, Solomon said, this is what I observed to be good. That it is appropriate, he says, for a person to eat, to drink, and to find satisfaction in their toilsome labor under the sun during the what? The few days of your life. The life, he says, the life, your life of God is given to you, for this is your lot. Moreover, when God gives someone wealth and possessions and the ability to enjoy them, to accept their lot and be happy in their toil, this is a gift of God. He says, and these people seldom reflect on the days of their life because God keeps them occupied with gladness of life, gladness of heart. They don't think about all the trouble their life had had. They're too busy with the gladness of heart and the peace that God has given them to listen, to understand and to enjoy the wealth and the success that God has given them. That's me. That's me right now. That's my life right now. As I enter the halls of my golden years, I want as few demands placed on me as possible in my life. I want few demands from my friends. I want few demands from my siblings. I want few demands from my wife, my children, my grandchildren. I want few demands from my country, my enemies. I came into the world crying, but will you please let me leave smiling? Everybody want. Can you stop it and let me live the last little bit of my days smiling? I told you when you stretch me out, doctor gonna fix me where I'm smiling. All the debt I got, I'm still smiling. He said, "Oh, he had a good life." No, ain't nothing I can do about that. What's left behind? I'm going home. No. Too many old people. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm through. I think the next slide's through. Listen. Too many old people, because I told you it's not a shame to be old, spend too much time trying to deny the numbers of their birth certificate. Which I'm talking about. You still want to look young and act like you young. Trying to deny it while fearing the numbers on the tombstone. Embrace getting old. Don't fear it. Especially women like to do this. They say, I was born on July the 6th. July the 6th, what? They won't tell you that. Because if I tell you that, you're going to see I'm old. I see it already. I just don't know how much you owe. Well, what's wrong with that? See, they don't see it as a badge of honor. I was born in 1941, and I'm glad about it. Yeah, glad about it. You ain't gonna doubt them. You ain't gonna deny them last numbers. I know that much. Just as death is a surety that you can't war against, if you live long enough, you will be an old person. Usain Bolt can't run against many of these young boys today. He can't do it. Boy, he's out there running against dogs and horses and stuff like that. You couldn't catch that boy, the Jamaican Bolt boy. He was fast. Now I might have could have done something. You know? But guess what? Just in April 4th, just a little couple of weeks ago, just a couple of days ago, a 16-year-old Jamaican sprinting sensation shattered his 22-year-old record. Shattered it. It didn't say he beat it. He shattered it. The great Usain Bolt. Can't run against these boys today. I told you they eat stuff. They got all the nutritional values and stuff. You can't do that. I didn't run against them boys. You don't need some air. Muhammad Ali, y'all know this. I was just 3, I don't remember. He beat Sonny Liston. Stood over him. I think it was the time we say, "What's my name? What's my name?" Oh, yeah, he a 22-year-old rock then, boy. When I saw this, I said, "Oh, my goodness." He's 30 years old trying to get into the ring with Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes beat him like a plump marshmallow. See, you got to know when it's time to retire. You see, old people, you trying to retain that youth, and then it's going to beat you down because you can't fight against somebody who's young or the youthful age when you're supposed to be old. Give it up. Give it up. It's great entering old age if you embrace it. But to embrace it, you must leave middle age behind. You can't be middle age all your life. Leave it behind. And some old people are finding that difficult to do. Many things must be retired. Your body will retire it whether you like it or not. Some of you get up to go to the bathroom more than 3-4 times a night. Why? Because your prostate too big now. Yeah. Diabetes. My high blood pressure. You ain't had none of those things back then. Can't see good. Scared to walk up a flight of steps. What you say, huh? You can try to stay young all you want to. Your body gonna retire some things. Trying to look young. You ain't no Mac Daddy no more. Taking blue pills, purple pills, and giving away your Social Security money to them young girls out there. You are not no Mac Daddy. Sit down somewhere. Out there with them young girls. They ain't doing nothing but giving them worms and stuff like that. Sit down somewhere. See, I told you, I'm going to tell you like it is. Oh, Lord, call the paramedics in out there. got to come get you from some old young woman's house because you can't keep up. Done hard done start palpating and all of that, and she's scared you gonna die. Take your old self home and sit down somewhere. Don't care because you putting on a suit and tie and stuff like that. Don't make you young. You don't Mac Daddy no more. And you women out here, you used to be sizzling sirens. Got the hourglass body. Well, now you look like a water jug. You trying to deny it. I'm going to fit back into this. Like, girl, that was your high school cheerleading suit. You ain't going to fit back in that. And if you do, you kept killing yourself. I'm just trying to tell you, some of y'all don't look good now. You like this. But some of us, age didn't tell it all. Telling it all. It's your daughter's time. Sit yourself down and leave these men alone. Ain't nobody want you out there. Yes, they do know they want something from you. I'm trying to tell you the truth. You ain't all that no more. I'm just trying to be real. I'm trying to be real. Keep it real. Sit down somewhere before you end up in the emergency room. If the mind is slow to remember, guess what? Get some paper and pencil. But take time to remember. It don't work like it used to work. Now, what you say your phone number is again? Then found a perfect woman out there. You 84, she 22, and you thought you got a number. You walk away, you can't even remember what it was. She gone now. Write stuff down. Your brain don't work like it used to be. Stop all the comb overs. Let it go. You're old now. It's supposed to flee. If you still got it at 83, then comb it. Having Botox and stuff. Lines supposed to be there. Them call your age lines. Or if you worry too much. Yeah. Stop with the Botox, the lip bras. You cut that mess out. Let them hang. Let it hang. Cut all that stuff. Trying to look young. You ain't young no more. Let nature take its course and be who you are and no more. Out there with the nightlife. Your child can't go to the club. You in there with him. Hey, mama, hey. Go sit down at the house somewhere. You got grandchildren and great-grandchildren. You out there with them in the club. Now, how you say that step go again? You know. You can't even do it no more. You used to have rhythm. Throw it all over you. You can't even do that. That means you need to be sitting at the home somewhere. You can go out and I'm trying to tell you. I'm sick of all this. Go to a restaurant with your husband or your wife and have a good little candlelight dinner. And then go on home because you wore out already. Social media. Some of us on social media. Yeah, put this in my DM. I ain't learned that until a long time. I said, what is a DM? I had to go in and say, okay, no, direct message. Okay, oh, you mean just put this in there so I can talk to you with it? I don't know what all those stuff mean. Used to be the time we wrote stuff like, oh my gosh, oh, now it's OMG, whatever. And I used to say to the kids, my kids would say, can you write out what you just said? What did that mean? You know, talk to me. But we worse than they are. Got 1,000 friends. You ain't know no but 2 in high school. And they didn't hang out with you that much. But now you got 1,000 friends. 100 friends. And you're worse than your children. Let me end. I said I was going to end. This is the end. I've seen another evil under the sun, and it weighs heavily on mankind. God giveth wealth, possessions, and honor, so that they lack nothing their heart's desire, but God does not grant them the ability to enjoy them. See, you know why? Because they're running around in the world. But he says, listen, God will give you things, but he says, But those people who are running around in the world can't see what God has given them. He said he don't give you the ability to enjoy the things you got. And strangers enjoy them instead, because you're going to die not enjoying the things that God gave you, because you're around there running with the world. And when you die, he said, other people are going to get that stuff. Strangers going to enjoy them. This is meaningless, a grievous evil. A man may have 100 children and live many years, but yet not, no matter how long he lives, if he cannot enjoy his prosperity and does not receive proper burial, you know what? He says that a stillborn child is better off than he is. Sit your old self down and enjoy the things that God has given you, instead of running out there trying to find more and more and more. The plan for a happy life is to fear God, keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of mankind. Leave them people out there alone. Grow old gracefully in the arms of your little wife and your husband, and it ain't nothing wrong but watching reruns of Andy Griffith. Nothing wrong with that. Settle down. Park your shoes under your own bed. Leave the streets to itself. Enjoy your family with your old goat or old sheep. And enjoy the sunrises and sunsets before yours set. There's a plan of salvation. It's been long ago that this has been written, and there's nothing untrue or changed about it today. You hear, believe, repent, and you confess, and then you'll be baptized. And guess what? Then you'll feel better about living your old age. If you haven't done that and need to stand up for prayers, please do so as